from a full-time job into entrepreneurship, you need a guide. So with somebody like me, I try to figure it out on my own. I did a lot of trial and error, a lot of wasting of time, not knowing what to do, abandoning several projects. How do you identify how your skills can transfer to a new career or to a new business? I'm Ngozi Edema, host of the Meaning Mastery Podcast, author, entrepreneur, and time management coach. This is a conversational productivity and time management podcast where busy authors and entrepreneurs are encouraged to create time for what truly matters. You are inspired to turn your minutes into milestones and to create at least 1 hour a day to work on your goals without feeling overwhelmed, because you will be working on your own terms. Each week, my guests and I will bring you actionable tips and strategies to help you navigate life 1 minute at a time. Whether it's mastering productivity, overcoming procrastination, or building a balanced lifestyle, we are here to help you make every moment count, going 1 minute at a time. So make yourself comfortable, grab your seat, and let's take a dive into taking back control of your time. Welcome to the Meaning Mastery Podcast. Time blocking is a beautiful tool that helps you take control of your day, ensuring every minute counts. With time blocking, you can schedule your tasks so efficiently that you actually have time left over to relax and enjoy life. Whether you are an entrepreneur, an author, or a busy parent simply looking to boost your productivity, I have prepared a guide to get you started with time blocking. The guide contains practical tips, customizable templates that will help you build a daily schedule that works for you. And the best part is designed for anyone, whether you're just starting out or looking for ways to level up your productivity. So, ready to make your day more productive and stress-free? Just click in the link in the description below or this episode's show notes to download your free time blocking guide. Joining me in today's episode is Shannon Russell. She's a career transition business coach and CEO of Second Art Success Coaching. She's a former TV producer and have pivoted her career from the entertainment industry to entrepreneurship. And today she's helping people, especially women, pivot from one career to the other. Thank you very much for coming to the show, Shannon.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited for the conversation.
Thank you. So, when I was going through your profile, it reminded me of me. Years ago, sometime in 2009, I have 3 young children at the time, and I did it 9 to 5. It was crazy. And I love my job, but I did not like the stress that came along with, from my home to where I worked at the time is 1 hour commute time on the train and bus. And when I got back home, I had to take care of the home as well. And then I also was doing a course on project management at the time. So sometimes I don't go to bed until maybe 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And then I have to wake up about 5 a.m. to start the whole craziness again. Well, after a while, it became obvious that one, what I was even doing then did not make sense with terms of childcare. So I had to stop. I like to tell myself, you know what? I had to stop this work because it's not adding up. Mm-hmm. But I wish I had someone like you at the time. Because when you're moving from a full-time job into entrepreneurship, you need a guide. So with somebody like me, I try to figure it out on my own. I did a lot of trial and error, a lot of wasting of time, not knowing what to do, abandoning several projects.
Yeah.
I always tell people I'm an expert at failing.
Oh, no.
So now, but that is what you do. You help people to move from one career to the other. So the question I want to find out from you is that how do you identify how your skills can transfer to a new career or to a new business? Because that is one thing I couldn't figure out.
Well, I'm the same as you. And when I left my career, I did the same thing. I tried a bunch of different things that didn't feel right. And I did it on my own, and it wasted time and money and energy and stress. So now I really try to help people identify the skills of not only what are they good at their current job or maybe past jobs, but what they want to continue to do, because you can really be good at something and not want to pursue it any further.
Yeah.
So I always say that it's great to be looking for something else while you're working, because you're earning that paycheck and you can start to do your research. And when you research your skills, really write down, it can be as simple as like a 2 lists on a piece of paper, but everything that you do, things that you've done in the past or do currently that you really enjoy. And then things that you really no longer want to do. You can be excellent at money, but not want to work on budgets moving forward. And then what you'll do is narrow that list down and start to think about potential career or business options that really focus on all those skills that you want to continue. And it's surprising, as a television producer from my first career, I never thought that any of those skills of interviewing celebrities and working with casting crews on set would transfer to anything else. And I think that's where I was stalled for a while. And it sounds like you kind of were the same way, trying to figure out how you can move it. But when I really started looking at myself and doing a lot of inner work and mindset work and really examining what I had done, I realized I had been producing, taking an idea and bringing it to the screen, right? Working with people, marketing, writing scripts, overseeing casting crews, hiring, budgeting, all of that stuff. And when I started to think about what would really fulfill me, it was creating a business where I could use those skills. And so now I always say to clients and people I speak with is that you can do so much more than that list of skills says. So if you're thinking about opening a boutique or a restaurant or an online business of some kind, look at those roles and what, skills or expertise is needed, and then look at your list and really think outside of that box. If you've managed people before, then you can hire employees to work with you. There's different ways that your skills can transfer. But I think the first step is to really sit down with yourself and be honest with yourself about what you are good at and what you value and what you want to continue to do in your next act.
Thank you. I remember somebody told me years ago when I was leaving work, and the person said, "Oh, when your kids grow up, it will be difficult for you to come back into the labor market. You're just going to make yourself useless." I mean, it's something that bothered me for years. The idea of thinking that as a stay-at-home mom, you're going to become useless to the society. You will not be able to fit into any career. I know that is not true.
Of course not.
I can tell you that for me, because I know I'm not useless. I've left work now since 2009. I did not stay stagnant. I kept working on myself. So, but for somebody listening to this podcast today, who is in that type of situation where for some reason, for whatever reason, because we all stop working for different reasons, for whatever reason you find yourself in that space as a stay-at-home mom, especially since most of the people you connect with or people you work with are women. Mm-hmm. So if someone is listening to this podcast now, what is it you would tell this person about herself that can make her to move the needle instead of staying home, feeling sorry for herself? Because staying at home is a very lonely space.
Yes. Yes.
And negativity comes in for everybody, no matter how great you are. You start
Mhm.
thinking, oh, my life has ended, oh, this and this. I've always wanted to be a career person, and now, and this is me, I'm here, I'm this, I'm not in me. So, what will you be saying to this person and tell those voices telling them that they cannot do it, they're useless, they're this, to stop?
Just that. Stop, because look at your day. Take a piece of paper out and write down everything that you do during that day. You are managing a home. You are educating your children. You are budgeting for the expenses of the home. Maybe you're volunteering at school. You know, there's so many things that we do as stay-at-home parents or as parents in general that are skills that are used in the workplace. So I always say to assess everything you've done and decide what it is that you want to do. A lot of women don't want to go back to where they once worked because they know it's not conducive to being a present parent if that's what they choose to want to be. And so what else would you want to do? Take those skills from your first act, and the skills that you're using now as a parent at home with your children and thinking about what you can do with those. And nowadays, so many people work from home and they can do side businesses at home. A friend of mine just this past fall decided she wanted a keychain that could easily go on her wrist. So because she's carrying the diaper bag and everything else, and she created these little beaded like wristlets that hold her keys, and they're really cute and durable. And she created an online business with those, making them. So it's like there's little things in your day as a parent that can be really useful. Maybe you have a hack or something, recipes that you're creating for your children. There are opportunities everywhere. And so I think it's just a matter of really being honest with yourself. Look at all that you're doing, applaud yourself. And then if you are ready, if you're getting that itch to go back and work or start something of your own, be choosy. Look at your past, look at your present, and then plan for your next step. But as you said, there are lonely days. It's very challenging. But you be proud of what you're doing, and you can not, don't wait until the kids are out of school, figure out what it is you want to do and start it, even if it's small.
Hmm. So why is it that some women struggle to make this change?
I think it's fear, and we've all had it. I'm sure you feared before you left. I know I feared that. It's that change, especially when we choose a career in our 20s, right? Or when we're in high school or college. And then we realize, oh, now that I'm a parent and in my 30s, 40s, 50s, etc., this just doesn't fit anymore. And then there's that scariness of that career identity. And I always say, no, our career is not our identity. We are a sister, a partner, a mom, etc. We're more than just what we do for our career. So it's just that figuring out that you can do the research now while you're working to see what else you might want to do. And that research about the business or another career move will lead to that confidence for you to really say, okay, I did the research. This really seems like a great option for me for my next act. Let me pursue it. So it's doing that research, looking at your skills, and giving yourself that permission to make a change. And I often say that it doesn't have to wreak havoc across your household. It doesn't have to affect everyone else, where a lot of women feel like, oh, I don't want to rock the boat. Everything's okay right now. Let me suck it up until there's a perfect time down the road. Mm-hmm. But by doing your research and maybe starting a side hustle or taking a class to learn a little bit more about an industry you're interested in, then you'll get that confidence and you can start moving forward methodically now rather than you wait 20 years from now, because we only have one life to live and you don't want to have those regrets later.
Yeah. I it's funny. These days, when I left work in 2009, I would die for anyone to give me something I could do from home. Mm-hmm. I was looking for jobs I could do from home, and many of the jobs that were coming up were like something like data entry and all of that. Then sometime after COVID, and a friend was saying to me, she drafts, she She does architectural drafting, and she said that's what she does. She only works for 4 hours a day,
Oh.
and a job she can work anytime, like
Mm.
anytime. She can decide, oh, 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. is my work time, and she works. And I said to her, you know what? I would have died to get that kind of job when I left work, because I could walk around my kids. I could do anything. And I have a background in architecture. I read architecture. And at the
Oh.
time, there was no such job. But
Mm.
now we have an advantage now, especially since after COVID.
Yes.
More and more people are beginning to see that many of the stuff that they think they had to go to a brick and mortar building to get done can actually be done from home.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this is an advantage to someone listening to this episode?
1,000%. 1,000%, because it gives you that work-life balance, that quality of life to be able to raise your kids or do whatever hobbies you might have at home and still earn a living. That sounds like an incredible job that your friend had, for sure. And there really are so many now. And I think people who are listening, I think as we move several years since COVID now, that you do want to look, if you're thinking about starting a new career, to make sure that that business is not intending to bring you back to the office, 5 days a week, because some companies are starting to do that. So you want to make sure that you have what I call your non-negotiables in line, that I want to work 100% fully remote. I want to have my weekends off. I need, I can only work nights, whatever it is for you and your family, to have those priorities, those non-negotiables set while you're looking for work. But wow, there are so many more opportunities, whether it is starting a business or finding those remote jobs that you can do nowadays. And it really is incredible. And I feel bad for our parents that they didn't have this as an opportunity.
I know.
You know?
I know.
Yes.
And even for us, the opportunity is just popping up. And like now, I'm just seeing a lot of opportunities out there. And I said, wow, I hope young people can grab this. I hope they can grab it. I mean, I tell my children, I said, you know what? Do things that will make you work from home.
Yeah. Yes.
I said, you might not appreciate it now, especially the girls. I said, you might not appreciate it now, but wait until you become a mom.
Yeah.
When you become a mom, you will now appreciate it that, oh, I got a job. I could work from home. I say it's beautiful to work from home, and you set your own time. You set what you want to do, and you can go out and play and do whatever you want to do and come back and do your job. So that is the kind of work I keep telling them. Look at work that you can do from home. I know it sounds crazy to a lot of people, especially from people from previous generation. I remember
Yes.
my mom staying with us. She calls it Zoom work. And I said, no, they don't use Zoom.
Yeah.
Like my daughter works from home and she doesn't go on Zoom unless they have a meeting. I say it's not Zoom work. I say she only
No.
needs her laptop, and then she needs instruction, and then they kind of connect her to the office and she can do work for them while there. I said it's a beautiful thing. She said, really? She said, but it makes people lazy. I said, no.
No, it's that self time management, right? Like you have to just make your own schedule and put in your lunch break just as you would in the office.
Yeah. So I have to start educating her on how
Yes.
that works, because it's not something that she saw in her time. So
Of course.
yeah, like you said, I feel so sorry for previous generations that they never saw this type of thing, but it's so empowering to be able to work from home and to work at your own terms. And I'm really happy that you do work like this to help people to navigate this this area, because like I said previously, I wish someone had held me by the hand and said, you know what, do this way, go this way, and this way, and this way. My life would have been much, much easier than it
That's why I
was.
started it too, because I feel like sometimes I'm just that accountability partner, helping them get from where, point A to point B. And you need that. You need to just, otherwise things won't get done if you're left to do it on your own. And
Yeah, I mean, I did a recording this morning, and that was what I mentioned in that same episode. I talked about getting a coach in
mm,
2017. I wish I had done that earlier on. So I got a coach, and she checks on me weekly,
that's
right? And
amazing.
it was back in the day where everything was in person. So she came to my home.
Oh, how funny. Oh,
It was yeah. At that time, everything was in person. I'm sure now she doesn't do that anymore. She does everything
good.
on Zoom.
Yes.
But back in the day, she came to my home once a week, and we talked. And
Mm,
she asked me very, very interesting questions, because she said, "Look, my main fear when I was writing, then I was trying to write my book, and my main fear at the time was, oh, I hate anything that has to do with the public and online and everything." I said, "People are going to say something." He said, "People will always say something bad."
yeah.
And she started preparing me for cyberbullying.
I hope you didn't have to deal with any of that.
Well, I didn't have to deal with it. I mean, not a lot. There are some people will always be people.
Yes.
You can't change what people will do, but you can work on yourself and tell yourself, I'm not that kind of person. And so I've learned to move on, and what they say does not, I don't let it affect me.
Mm,
So people will always say, so she prepared me and said, look, people will always say something, people will always do something. So it is that kind of accountability partner, somebody that will tell you, you know what, you can do it. I always
yeah.
encourage people to get someone like that who can do it. So encourage them until they get started. And sometimes once you get started, you might not need one. Although time to time we all kind of get to a place where we are feeling low, then it's time to get an accountability partner again and said, you know what, I need you to help me get through this stage in
Hmm.
my life. So yes, I really like that idea. I wish that option existed for me back in the day, but I never got that option.
Hmm.
So what are some tips to help someone know when they should make a change in work or life? We both have made those type of changes, but some people are there, they're just there, they don't know. Should I? Should I not?
I always go back to the research and just saying, okay, well, if you could do anything, write down 2 to 3 different roles, whether it's a business owner or a career role, and look into them. Find someone on LinkedIn. Now it's very easy to connect with people who are in your similar role that you're thinking about, and see what that day to day is. Oftentimes I'll work with clients, and I'll have clients come with like 8 different opportunities that they're thinking about. And as we dive into each, they'll start to say, oh, I didn't realize it was X, Y, and Z, and they cross it off their list.
Mm-hmm.
So I think once you can narrow it down, you'll get more confident because you know more about it. And again, with LinkedIn, you can reach out to people and message
Mm-hmm.
them and say, hey, I'm considering going into a similar role or opening a similar business. Can we have a coffee chat online, and can you share some ideas? So you can really do your research and know. And then I think once you have an idea of what it is that you want to move into, look at the calendar and give yourself a timeline. And maybe it's 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 months from now, and write that date on the calendar and reverse engineer and work back to the present and really figure out the steps you need, whether it's to save enough money or give enough notice and help your team currently before you leave, but really just start that process and know that the calendar can change, but just really realizing all the steps. Because if you're looking to find a new job, there's going to be time to update your LinkedIn and your resume, start applying. That can take some time. Or maybe you do have to save X amount of money to feel confident with the change. Or opening a business. There's lots of steps in creating a business. Or maybe it's a podcast or a book, whatever it is. But you can start kind of outlining those steps and mark it down on the calendar so that you don't feel rushed. And it can really take as long as as you want it to, but it's all detailed. You've done your research. You're making a plan that is really methodical and thoughtful and will make you feel more confident as you move forward. Because you don't want to feel like you're leaping into something that you don't know everything about, because you don't want to end up in the same situation on the other side.
So if there's one final advice you give to someone who is just struggling, not knowing what to do, what will it be?
Talk to yourself. Take a quiet moment to ask yourself if you're happy. If not, are things going to change at your current role? And if you're honest with yourself and you know that you're not happy, you're not feeling fulfilled, you're feeling stuck, then give yourself that permission to at least look into what else you could do for your next act. Look into it, do the research. Maybe you'll decide that you're fine where you are, but I think everyone deserves a chance to take that second to talk to themselves, really see how they're feeling. And we don't do that, especially women, especially mothers. We're so busy with everyone else. But to turn inward, ask yourself those questions, look into it, see if it's a possibility, because you don't want to regret not doing that down the road. So give yourself that time because you deserve it.
Thank you. So if someone is looking at connecting with you to do your program, what do they hope to achieve?
We'll have a roadmap. We'll do one-on-one coaching, and it can be 8 weeks. It could be 6 months. It's very customizable. And we meet, whether it's weekly or bi-weekly, and have that constant communication. So I deal with clients in doing either, I'm certified in UMAP, which is a career assessment. So we'll do a career assessment with UMAP, or maybe I'll help them with their resume or their LinkedIn, or if it's creating the business, really coming up with that business plan and what it's going to be, really anything that person needs to move from where they are to where they want to be.
Thank you. So where is the best place to find you?
Sure, at secondactsuccess.co. That's my website where it has links to my new book that's coming out this May, my podcast, my blogs, and free resources too.
Oh, well done. Congratulations on your new book. I would like to read it.
Thank you. I will let you know. I'm very excited.
Okay. So what's it about?
It's called Start Your Second Act.
Wow.
So it's about my journey, but then it really is everything that I work with my clients on, my strategies, my teachings on how you can just move to this better place in your work, in your life. So
wow.
I'm hoping to reach more people that don't work with me. I can reach a broader audience this way.
Yeah. No worries. Your contact details will be in this episode's show notes and the webpage and on YouTube as well for those of you who will be watching on YouTube. So this is something to look out for. Like I said, I wish I had someone tell me what to do when I left work in 2009. It would have made my life so much easier. Even writing a resume, like you said, sometimes I'm just lost. I'm like, where do I start from? And I remember my husband was like, oh, but you did this before, you did this before, you did this. I don't even know how to put everything together. But just someone helping you do that is a lot of work. So taking off your plate. So thank you so much, Shannon, for coming to this show.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in to the Minute Mastery podcast. If you have found this episode helpful, please share it with someone who could use more time in their day. And remember to subscribe and leave a review. Until next time, remember, you are in control of your time and you've got this.